Hey guys, it's Joey. So, I finally saw Captain America Civil War the other night. I have to say, overall, I enjoyed it. Of course, not my favorite movie. I don't know. To be completely honest, I haven't been a fan of really any of the Captain America movies that have come out. I still haven't really seen the end of Winter Soldier. I totally skipped Age of Ultron. I heard that wasn't too great, and honestly, I wasn't really interested in seeing it. As you guys probably already know, I'm sort of biased when it comes to Marvel movies because I am a DC fanboy and I'm proud of it. Where my heart is. That's where I live. But I do enjoy both worlds. I do enjoy the characters in both universes. I just am more prone to liking DC stories, and I'm just more attached to those characters, which is probably why I don't feel as much for the Marvel movies. So other than that, my review of Captain America Civil War, I'm not crazy about it. I haven't been crazy about any of the Captain America movies. He's not a character I'm very interested at all, really. Like, I always used to just skip over Captain America. I never really cared for that character. Otherwise, I thought it was good. I love seeing all those characters together. Ant-Man, I did enjoy the Ant-Man movie. I'm a big fan of Paul Rudd, so I'm glad he was in there doing his little comic relief bit. Kid playing Spider-Man, I'm super excited for Spider-Man. I love Spider-Man. I think that kid did a great job. I'm really excited to see what happens in Homecoming when that comes out. Really, the first two acts of Captain America Civil War, I thought were really just boring and sort of, I don't know what the proper term is. It didn't grab my attention. It was sort of just happening to me. And when you know some big thing is coming up, you want to kind of fill that space and just not have that be the climax, especially with these big movies, these big blockbuster superhero movies. You want stuff happening the whole movie. And there's just a lot of the political stuff, which I understand. That's what the movie is. That's what it is. But I just feel like all three Captain America movies have been sort of just like the same. They just feel the same. They're sort of the same progression. They just feel like the same movie three times. The only thing that made this one really different was the fact that there was so many superheroes in it. It felt like another Avengers movie, minus Thor and the Hulk. That's what it really was. It felt like the Avengers but just Captain America and Iron Man having it out with these really unsubstantial disagreements between the Avengers. For me, it wasn't really something believable, per se. But again, I feel like I'm coming at this movie with a bias, and I really wish I wasn't. I tried to go in there with an open mind and just trying to accept that movie for what it was. And I'll definitely admit that I am totally biased when it comes to this movie. I'm going to judge it a little harder. And so I totally get where the Marvel people came in with Batman vs. Superman. Let's go into that critique, because I feel like that's a conversation that I don't want to dance around and it needs to be had. Because I understand it. There's just, when you're a super fan of either side, you're going to come at the other one a little bit harsher than you normally would. And I found myself doing that with this movie. And I really wish I wasn't, because I want to enjoy the movie for what it is rather than critique it because it's these characters. It's pretty much the other side of the lake. I really didn't want to do that, but I just felt myself getting into a very biased mindset because of all the hatred Batman vs. Superman got, that I still don't completely understand them, because this movie is getting a pretty good critical reception, and I feel like there's a lot of the same in both of these movies. There's a war between the iconic characters, there's political unrest, there's tragedy, there's tormented superheroes and characters. It addressed a lot of the same themes, and I don't know. I felt like just because DC approached those themes differently, and in a way I believe was very well done, and I'm excited to see where they go from now on with it. They're making a lot of changes, but I really hope they're not going to change based on the Marvel demographic, which is huge, but I feel like a lot of people that like one like the other, but I feel like everybody just sort of leans to one side. And I really believe that. I mean, I'm guilty of it myself. But just going back to Civil War, I feel like, I mean, before all this, the DC Cinematic Universe even started, I wasn't crazy about the Captain America films. I just feel like it's a very recognizable pattern. You know how this movie is going to play out, and it plays out exactly as you. It has no like, it's very predictable. I think. I know people are gonna disagree, like to the max. People are just gonna disagree, but it is Marvel movies do have all of them have a very similar formula that they all go through. It's very classic, classic writing style, classic, progression of a plot. My biggest problem with Marvel movies is I don't feel like it's anything we haven't seen already. It's not something, spectacular. That's why I did love Batman vs Superman, because it didn't feel like they were going with the normal, progression of a story. They were going a little back and forth. They weren't telling too much. They were, filling the scenes with like important stuff all the time, which I feel like Civil War didn't do. It was just a lot of, everybody bashes on, Batman vs Superman for having these brooding characters, but that's all. That Captain America has done the same thing for 3 movies. It's all about being sad about Bucky or Peggy or whatever it is. He's just as broody as anyone else, and I think a lot of the Avengers are that way. These movies are extremely similar, and it's really bizarre that people disconnect them in such a way, but I think they have more in common than they do apart. So I want to just like make a point of it that you don't have to, like one more than the other, because you could like them both for different reasons, but these movies are fairly similar, dealing with a lot of the same themes. So it's really bizarre that people would say one is better than the other at all. I think if anything, they're even. It's really just based on which characters you like best, and you'll probably like that movie best. At the end of the day, that's what it is. It's not a better or worse movie. It's just who do you like better, and I believe that. I know people are going to disagree, but that's really what I believe the whole thing is. It's just which action figure did you pick up first? Mine was Batman. Like that was like my first superhero. So of course I'm just gonna have an emotional attachment to those characters. And if your guys are the Marvel guys, you're probably gonna be more prone to liking those better. Again, you'll probably be like me and like both, but you'll definitely be leaning to one more side. All right, guys, this is probably going to cause a lot of controversy and a lot of debate, but I'm all for it. And I like talking to you guys and arguing in the comments section. So go have at it. Rip me a new one. Tell me why I'm wrong and why you think Marvel movies are better, or if you have another theory behind all this and why people take to one movie better than the other, and just I'm curious about your opinions on this subject as a whole, and if you have any new ideas or philosophies behind it, I'm happy to hear it. And if you did like this video and you like what I have to say and you want to see more, please subscribe as always. You know where to do that, and I will see you guys next time. If you want me to make a video about a particular subject, please let me know. Leave it in the comments. Alright guys, see you next time.